Hello and welcome to another Raggy's beer review. So, over at the tap room tonight, reviewing from Blue Monkey Brewery, based in the Giltbrook area in the outskirts of Nottingham. It's their Maple and Pecan Imperial Stout, 12.2%. Hops are Magnum, and that's pretty much all it says on the tin. So, yeah, we'll dive in. It says it's a little bit lively on the opening there. Tastes nice. So a black pour, tan head. They do seem to use Magnum hops really extensively across the range. I don't know what the Magnum hops do, and I've seen this in the other beers as well. It's curious because somebody does his own brewing. Obviously, you change hops, and I just see a Magnum used an awful lot, even at the Black Forest Sour a few days ago, and that was Magnum hops as well. And it's curious to me why the use of only like one hop. I mean, there was two hops in these Black Forest Sour, but I've seen a lot of their beers where the only hops used are Magnum hops. Do hops matter that much? That I don't know. I don't know on that side of things. I'm just curious why it's all Magnum hops. Is it a hop that's good value? If it is, then you fair play on that side of things. So yeah, black pour. The head's dissipated down now to a couple of mils of slightly off white head. Last time I had a Blue Monkey Imperial Stout was at the Hucknall Beer Festival. A couple of months back now. It was a while back now, wasn't it? There was a strawberry Imperial Stout, and I don't think it was warm enough for the imperial flavours to come through. Although some people are saying to me that imperials come through better at lower temperatures. And I've never found that out myself. I've always thought it's more near room temperature. Do imperials really show their flavours and whatnot? But it is what it is. I know another version of that strawberry imperial was released, and apparently it was improved. So fair play on that side of things. With regards to that Oaknall Beer Festival, there were beers I had at the beer festival, not this one, but not the Blue Monkey one, but a couple of that I had that didn't perform as good as I expected them to, or taste even that. And yet, a month or so down the line, they were tasting amazing. So, were they a bit green, a bit early? Does make you wonder. So, cheers all. Certainly smelling the pecan on the nose, and with the maple coming in behind, it was certainly pecan at the front, but the maple has come in behind now. I'm looking forward to seeing how the strength kicks in with this, and I need it after today. So cheers. Oh, it's got some pokey bite to it. That has a bit of punchiness in the aroma. I mean, like yourself, when you're at work, you're judged on every day you're at work, aren't you? I mean, unless you're lucky enough to be the boss and then you're not judged. But for most people, most staff are judged on their day's product and output at work. Some more so than others. And I suppose the same comes with beers. That every time you put a beer out, there's probably somebody around the UK judging it in one form or another. So, cheers. Wow, it's quite an intense flavour coming from this. It's not barrel aged to it, but bloody hell, there's a good intensity to it. Tastes a little bit barrely to me, but as far as I remember, the base Imperial is the Silverback Imperial Stout, unless I'm wrong. So, Blue Monkey do an Imperial Stout called Silverback, and I was told, I'm sure somebody told me, unless I'm dreaming. If I'm dreaming, I'm dreaming. You know, I won't be the first to get things wrong. But yeah, the Silverback was the base Imperial Stout. So I don't know. But yeah, it's just really intense. There's a good intenseness on this. It's good to see. It's delivering on flavour and aroma. Like I said, with the pecan at the front and the maple behind, and the ABVs are kicking in nicely as well. I do like a decent ABV. Oh, bloody hell! It's an airs on your chest beer, that is. And for ladies, I don't know. That's for blokes. I'm not sure for ladies. So, yeah. I'm not going to say anything to put myself in the bad books, so I'm not going down that route. But yeah, it's certainly an intense flavouring coming from this. For me, anyway. Yeah. Obviously, depends what you've eaten and drank before. Like I've said with all beers, yeah, what we've had before will follow through in a sort of way. Anyway, got this from Adventure Beer. If you live local to the East Midlands, it's an absolute must place to check out what's available local. Yeah, some cracking beers on his site. Quite a few from Blue Monkey, from both the trad range and the new craft beer range, which has only been out since last August, September. I'm not sure now. It's been such an intense year that I mean we're on the 4th month of the year already, and I felt like I've lived about 4 years in the last year, and I look like I have now. But yeah, it's one thing after another, after another, after another, and it only seems to be getting like that, even more so. At some stage, hopefully, things will calm down and we go back to an existence where there's not one thing after another. And so, you know, sometimes a peaceful, quiet life is not too much to ask for. You know, I feel like I'm in one of them things where you're in the newspapers or in the media, and you know, the next headlines come up, and it's like I'm living the blooming headlines, and in not a good way either. But hey ho, life is what it is, and we must all do our best to try and get around it somehow, at least. So even though the maple and pecan is there, it's not far off a straight up imperial stout at times. and a beast of an Imperial Stout as well. It's you kind of forget as drinking it that those elements are in, and then all of a sudden you'll just get a gulp, and it's like, wow, that's got some kick in it, and yeah, it's certainly delivering on that front. Nottingham Craft Beer Festival's coming up. Not heard yet whether Blue Monkey are going to be part of it. There was rumours that it was going to be happening, and the Craft Beer Festival this year, for some strange reason, have not released all the names of the breweries yet. And I know this because there's breweries that I know are going, and they've not been names have not been mentioned yet. Or supposedly not mentioned, unless I've just not took my notice. So, yeah, these things happen. I am going to the Craft Beer Festival on both days this year. Well, hopefully, money permitting. And hence the reason why the focus on locals has stepped down a grade. Obviously, I'm drinking more craft and cask beer from pubs, but the bottled and canned stuff certainly has took a noticeable decline. However, though, there has been a noticeable decline on released beers. There's literally half the breweries that used to release are not releasing anything, and they seem to have gone back to cask or keg only for whatever reason. So, or certainly not releasing anything new into cans or bottles, which I think is rather not the greatest of moves. I think it's better to have it on both sides of the equation, but it's interesting to see where people's business models go. And I noticed locally recently in the last year there was a local brewery whose releases in beer were getting less and less, and it was interesting how that went. I mean, for me, if I'm a brewer, and I'm in the trade, then I don't want to be releasing the same old beer in a slightly different guise every few weeks. You'd want to be varying it, surely. Variety, spice of life. But anyway, we'll crack on with this. Yeah, massive pecan, maple at the back, still doing that. The elements, it changes. The more you stick your nose in, and you can smell the different aromas flowing in. You know, the flavours flow in and out. Like I say, would like to see more of these appear in the Blue Monkey pubs. Whether or not the Blue Monkey pubs and the clientele they're serving would appreciate keg and craft beer, but if you don't try, I suppose you don't know, do you? And yeah, I suppose it depends on the area where your pubs are, and the pubs and the craft beer bars around you. Yeah. Luckily, I'm not a businessman. I'm just a gardener who likes a beer. So, yeah, I don't have to worry about those sort of things. But yeah, for me, I like this one. I thought it was quite intense at times. Really got some kick in it. But yeah, it was a good beer. Would I drink it again? Love to try it on keg, must admit. Out of 5 for me, yeah, a good 4.3 out of 5. And that's it for this review. Thank you for watching. See you soon.